you dig it? Can you dig it?
Ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, lurkers and regulars, welcome back to the Boiler Room. We're streaming out live here from Alternate Current Radio Central in Central Texas. It is July the 3rd, 2025. We are right on the cusp, hours away from Independence Day, 4th of July. About to kick off. Spore and I have been running around town today, and town is certainly bracing itself for a big day of celebrating tomorrow on 4th of July. So here we are. It just so happens to be that Boiler Room has been scheduled today for Independence Day. You can see the lovely fireworks going off behind me here in the Alternate Current Radio Boiler Room bunker for tonight's show. I guess we're not broadcasting from a war zone anymore. Everything's cool, guys. Don't worry. No more war. Oh, wait. No, there's still a few going. But hey, we're going to do 4th of July anyways, and my goodness, it's great to be back with you here in the Boiler Room. And of course, we regret to look back on the last 10 years and see all the nasty things that have happened, much like Matrix Mysteries posted today on their X. 9/11, a catalyst for control. The moon wasn't the lie. The footprints were. The climate change hoax. Remember, it started as global cooling, then became global warming, then just plain old climate change. That was fun. Big pharma. Don't even get me started. The fabricated lie of the overpopulation crisis. Schools still running the same old 100-year-old blueprint, indoctrinating people. I would argue with that one actually and say it's a much ramped up and beefed up blueprint, same blueprint, but in plaid speed at this point. Federal Reserve, gun rights, my goodness, so many issues that we have here in the country. But we're going to get into what they say today is the big stuff, right? Today, that is the intriguing stuff. What is out there today going on that is in the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot swim lane? Because that is where the Boiler Room shines. I'm your host, my call signs Hesher. Thanks for joining us tonight for this live broadcast. Our website is alternatecurrentradio.com. Have to shill for myself and my homies here. Before I bring everybody in and ask you to please join our Patreon, please pick up some merchandise, please join our Discord, subscribe to our YouTube, our Rumble, my X, which is at Hesher Media, and sign up for our notifications and all that good stuff. We appreciate that. That's what keeps us coming back. Great to see everybody in the chat. We've got the Discord chat. Let me make sure that thing is lit up tonight so I can try to keep an eye on it. What's up? We got Pharaoh in there. We got Fleety. We got Sage. We got Spore. We got all our friends up in there. Great to have you. Jake, what's going on? Good to see Jake. And let's say hello to everybody also in the Rumble chats. We got Variant over there on X. I can't really tell what's going on, but what's up if you're watching on X? And yeah, we got Free T over there on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Let's say hello to Mystical Pharaoh. We're going to bring the Pharaoh into the conversation. Mystical Pharaoh, what's up, dude? Welcome back to the Boiler Room.
How are you, man?
I'm good. It's great to be here with you, man. Happy Independence Day.
Happy 4th, brother. Happy birthday, America.
Yeah, dude. Looks like you're flying in on a magic carpet made of an American flag tonight. I like it.
That's right. Always, always, always.
Definitely, man. Well, hey, happy Independence Day for all the fighting we still have yet to do to maintain that. It is one of the reasons that you're here. Am I right?
That's right. Trust me, it's not, yeah, as you say, that it's a long fight for us to actually save that nation. But
I think the fight
unfortunately,
the fight will outlive us, man. I really
it
do.
absolutely will.
I think about
Absolutely.
how many people that the fight has outlived already. And it's just like so many important people and names and colleagues and people we respected and friends of ours even in some cases. So yeah, it's a lifetime achievement award, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. But I just hope that people will still have the pride and the spirit to fight for it, for
That's
this
right,
country.
man. That's right. We've said on this show many times, let the record of the Boiler Rooms show, the last 10 years of this show, prove that there were people out there that gave an actual fuck and tried to speak out against all of this trash that the technocrats and uh, plutocrats and kleptocrats wanted for us.
We have been saying that for decades.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. All right. Great to have you with us. Let's welcome the Ruckus among us. We've got the mastermind behind the Daily Ruckus. Also, you can find him on Weaponized News weekly. Big shout out to Weaponized News. Thank you for the shout out on your stream tonight. While we were getting ready, heard about that. Appreciate you guys. Ruckus, welcome to the Boiler Room.
Hi. So yes, we tried to warn everybody, but unfortunately nobody listened and it didn't work, which is why we need to take an entirely new approach. Happy birthday, America. Go Trump. America. Yeah. Yeehaw. Bang, bang, bang. Sipping on my beer and all that good stuff. Trump is my president and he will be for at least the next 365 days. And I suggest you make him yours too. Otherwise, it's going to be a rather uncomfortable year. Anyway. But yeah, way to go, Trump, with your BBB. We're probably going to talk about it, and I'm glad to be here. It is the 4th of July Eve, so all kidding aside, happy 4th of July Eve. I apologize I didn't get you guys the traditional gifts, but regardless, we'll see. Maybe the night is young. So yeah, anyways, thanks for having me.
Your presence in the Boiler Room is always a gift, Ruckus, even on holidays, especially on holidays. All right, let's welcome the one, the only, the keeper of all things Whiskey Tango Foxtrot on the interwebs, our co-host, Lovely Spore. Lovely Spore, what's up? Welcome to the Boiler Room.
Hey, happy to be here too. Happy 4th of July Eve. I loved your meme that you put in our Discord earlier, Ruckus. Something like, have a great work day tomorrow, England.
Have fun at work tomorrow, England.
Yeah. that gave me joy. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a long weekend during the middle of summer and looking forward to hanging out with you guys tonight.
Yes, absolutely. And Bazed is out on assignment this week. We have assigned Baselit Analyzer to go have a blast. So that's what he's out doing. But he told me to tell all you guys hi. And yeah, all right. Well, let's see here. Spore, what are we breaking the ice with tonight? What you got for us?
Well, I had I don't know how much you guys follow Candace Owens, but I think Brian and I both we watch her sometimes. I find her I think she's kind of fascinating and she brings humor to her publications. And today I had this thing show up on Instagram, which I don't think I've ever seen her on Instagram before. I've only like seen her things pop up on Twitter or YouTube. But it was this thing that I know Pharaoh's familiar with, and I don't think you are, Ruckus, but she had, she always has great titles, and this one was Trump Called Me. And I think we should just maybe play the clip because I can't sum it up better than she does.
All right. We're just gonna play this. It's a little bit long, so I should say get out there and follow Candace since we're gonna use so much of her material right here. But it's worth watching. I don't really have the ability to track the playhead on this. I do have the ability to pause. So if you guys need me to pause, go ahead and shout it out. I'll do my best. It's hard to present stuff from the IG, but we're gonna go with it anyways. So here you go. This is recently released 3 days ago, I believe, and this is Candace describing a phone call that she had with Donald Trump.
Happened all the way back in February, and I was sworn to secrecy temporarily, and I feel that today is the correct day to inform audiences because it may have some severe global implications. So here is what happened. All right. I received a very strange message from a friend of mine. I'm not going to identify that friend, but the message specifically read, "Hey, I have something to tell you from the White House. They asked me to call you. I'm just the messenger here." And he says, somebody very high up at the White House has asked me to ask you if, as a favor, you could stop speaking about Brigitte Macron. Like, what? Excuse me? To be clear, we had, ironically, as a podcast, we had just ended our Brigitte Macron series 4 days earlier on February 20th. That's when we released the last episode, which was the epilogue. So I'm going, that doesn't make sense. Why am I getting this phone call now? And obviously, I ask for a little more information. I say, who specifically called you? And that friend of mine says, it's somebody that has the president's ear. This is somebody important. And I tell my friend, go back to that person and just say, I said no. It's free speech. This is obviously an important story to me. The implications here are pretty severe about what I've uncovered. So no deal. When I checked online, I realized that Emmanuel Macron is in Washington, D.C., February 24th. He is in Washington, D.C., and he had departed the White House just hours before I received the call. When I call that person back, they tell me something that is even stranger. Emmanuel Macron is holding up negotiations to end the Russian and Ukrainian war unless you stop speaking about his wife. And I'm just going, what? So I say, we ended the conversation. I say, I'm going to sleep on this. It's a lot to process. I remember I get into bed and I just turn to my husband and I say, no one will ever believe us. It matters. Like this actually, the truth just matters at the end of the day. But also, like, if I could end the Ukrainian and Russian war, and by just stopping this conversation, I would do it. Anyways, I sleep on that. Anger is subsiding. Wake up the next morning. It's February 26th, and I am sitting in the makeup chair, and I get another message that's like, "Hey, keep your phone on." And anyways, this phone call is coming from Florida. Pick up the phone, and lo and behold, so here's what happened. I'm negotiating this thing. I'm negotiating Ukraine and Russia, and you wouldn't believe how many parts are part. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me, and in true President Trump fashion, he jumps right into the narrative. We're not, hey, how you doing? He just jumps right into the narrative of exactly how this went down. I am literally, it is hard to catch my breath to comprehend that 4 days ago, I'm ending a series about Brigitte Macron, and now I'm speaking to the President of the United States, and the topic of conversation, no matter which way you want to slice it, it's about Macron's wife's penis. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? Anyways, I like Macron. We're speaking at the White House, and I'm walking him to his car. And, he says to me, Mr. President, can I speak to you for a second? I say, of course you can speak to me about anything. What's going on? And Macron wants to have a little sidebar. And then Macron says to him, Mr. President, do you know Candace Owens? And I say, yes, of course I know Candace Owens. What's going on? And then he continues his narrative, and he tells me that Emmanuel Macron is requesting to his face that I stop speaking about his wife. And one of the things Trump said is he tells me, she's old and this is really, really impacting her. And then he said, I saw her, Candace, I saw her up close, and she looks like a woman to me. She looks like a woman to me. I had dinner with her at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And I explained to him that she has had this amazing doctor who specializes in transgenderism surgeries or feminization procedures. I'm talking to the president of the United States about this, guys. This is crazy. This is wacky. And I said to Trump, and I will be honest, that at that moment, I realized that one day this is going to go into my autobiography. And so I got to say something funny. And I said to him, respectfully, Mr. President, it's not my fault that he married someone with a penis. He then tells me, we're really close to getting this thing done. And he throws in the art of the deal type stuff. He starts complimenting me. He said, Melania loves you. She says, you're so beautiful. She thinks you're so beautiful. I said, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Compliments will get you everywhere in life is my mentality here. And then I say to him, what I've agreed to already in the back of my head, I say, look, I'm happy to do this for the short. Obviously, I don't want to have on my conscience that less Christian men could have died in the East if I just shut up about something. But I'm very clear to him that this is going to be short term, and that I fully expect that in a few months I will be able to speak about this. He was about to commit to that, but then it felt to me like someone in the background was like, no, we need this conversation to stop altogether. And then he doesn't say no or yes, but he just says, that he really needs to work with Macron long term, and they have this long working relationship. And I was very clear, this is not long term for me. Like, if you're close to this deal, ink it, let's get it done. And then he sort of offers at the end, he says, hey, maybe I can come on your podcast one day. I'm great for ratings. They're so Trumpian to give yourself a compliment. So I give him the Trump right back. And I say respectfully, Mr. President, I'm apparently good for ratings too, because you've got a leader of a country, the president of the country, asking you to ask me to do a favor. So
there you go. Wow. I'm not even sure where to start. I'm going to pass it back to Spore because this is her hot potato she has brought into the boiler room. Spore, that was crazy. I would like to have paused about every fourth or fifth sentence probably, but what did you think when you saw that?
I mean, total clown world. I mean, this is just crazy to me that I'm actually like seeing this on an Instagram post. Like, there was part of me that's like, do I even believe this? Like I have to question it. This is so freaking weird. Like, and I mean, if it is real, like, telling her that she could stop a war in two countries, like on the other side of the planet, by not talking about Emmanuel Macron's wife's dick. What is going on? I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to make of it.
Okay, good. We're all very confused here. Pharaoh, so that's probably the second time you've seen that today. Any new takeaways or any thoughts? You hear that, folks?
The whole story is creepy.
That is the sigh of a seasoned information warrior in 2025 right there. Go ahead, dude.
I don't know. That whole story, I just hope it's not true. I mean, and I have no idea. But
which part of the story do you hope?
Trump call or the penis?
It's that this is his dad, and he actually became a woman, and now he became France's first lady. And
dude,
that is a pretty fucked up story. If that is
I got to tell you, I hope it's not true too. But the thing about what Candace did in her series is her and her lawyers gave the Macron family every opportunity to prove that the theory was wrong with some very simple questions, and they refused to answer any of those questions. I mean, was this person, you in this year, you know what I mean? It's like they've done nothing but if not like intentionally hiding the fact that she's right, they're intentionally trying to polarize people over the argument. You know what I mean? When they could easily dispel it, much like other things, like certain pandemics and certain buildings that dissipated in midair.
And I do believe she's received a couple of letters from them specifically, like telling her to stop this.
Oh yeah, yeah, they've been included in the series. So if anyone hasn't seen her series on Macron, you really should watch it before you come to too staunch of a conclusion about this. I would say at the very end, you should at least have enough question marks to, have an open mind.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem very well researched. I mean, it's a lot more than like the normal like Michelle Obama memes, where it's like it could be a wrinkle in the skirt or something like that. This is like from like childhood photos to adult photos. Like it's and yeah, there's a lot to it. It seems well researched and pretty obvious what's happening there.
It's like sub 5 hours worth of content. There's ads in there, of course. You remove all the ads, it's probably more like 3 hours and 45 minutes or whatever. But the and of course, you can't always take guilt by association as a thing, but the amount of like social dots that she creates among people that are very, very dubious and questionable are pretty thick. It's a pretty thick tapestry of what the hell's going on here that she's uncovered. It's not, and I'd also like to be clear that she is writing off of a couple of French journalists' work, and they have full credit for all of their original research in this. And one of them is even interviewed in one part of that series. So it's not just Candace. It's not just someone in America trying to pick apart someone in another country, like or worshiping someone in another country like we see with Trump in all these other places. No, this is like a lifetime of work almost by multiple journalists who have really put their their junk in the road to get that message out there. So it is worth hearing.
She also just got served by Blake Lively.
Yeah, so that.
And then she kind of like spilled the beans on what was on her phone on like live on air, which I mean there was nothing there. But I love that she's so like behind just being like, all right, she likes the juicy shit, obviously everybody does, but she's not willing to shut up about it. It's like all public knowledge that she's talking about. It's not like she's just making shit up.
And it's not a fringe show either. That's the other thing. Like the audience for that show is insane. It's, in the same fistful as Joe Rogan. It's usually in the top 5 of all podcasts. And the demographic is largely women, which is pretty much unheard of considering the topics and the way that she's woven in some of the Hollywood stuff. I think personally has really set her apart from someone like Megyn Kelly, who, does a lot of good reporting, but then at the same time will come out and just push political Zionism and then spend a week doing Hollywood TMZ style stuff while insane stuff is popping off in the Middle East with no commentary, So Candace does not do that. I know a lot of people have their question marks about Candace, but I mean, Ruckus, what do you think about this? What do you think about that call, man? What's your takeaway? Because that was your first listen on that, right?
Oh, I'm not even the least bit surprised. It's freaking 2025. This is exactly
fits right in, doesn't it?
I'm like, dude, is that all you got? Come on, man. I could have Grok could have come up with this one all by himself, right? Yeah, I've been a longtime fan of Candace for various reasons. No, she used to be on Fox News and everything way back in the day, which is funny. I think around the same time Megyn Kelly was too. Some of the other people who had their tists and their splits and their whatever changed from, oh, I'm not a Fox News person anymore, and then they seem good again, and then like the Zionism thing, and I don't know about Candace. Sometimes with some of the things she discusses is very gossipy stuff sometimes too. I have not watched this series. I'm not so sure I'm ready to invest 5 hours of my time to determine whether or not a complete stranger that I could give a flying F about has a penis or not. So I'll skip that one. I'm glad you brought up the Michelle Obama thing, because I've famously mentioned a few times live on air that I don't believe, in that narrative there. But I will say I'm still on the fence about that. So I could swing one way or the other with that one. But this one's very different, and I've always never been on the fence with this one. It's like, dude, this is so obvious, in your face, like Austin Powers. That's a man, baby. It's like everybody knows. This is like a zero question. You didn't even need the investigation from Candace or any of it. And one of the tells is the way that they've reacted to this, the way they've gone after the people who've been making these accusations. Because people make these accusations about Michelle, and they make them about other people and other things all the time, and nobody cares. They just move on. These people take it really offensively, like personally. And then look at this, what they're like. If this story is to be believed, and I do believe it because it is 2025, and this sounds exactly, they tell me that's not something like how Trump would tell the story of what happened. Like Candace might be good, but she's not that good. So I'm like, that was a real conversation she had with Trump. So now we have to determine, was Trump telling the truth, or, about his interaction with Macron. Now you look at some of the stories about Macron, and you're like, oh yeah, dude, this whole thing has got to be absolutely 100% true. But the funny part is, I think a lot of people who see that, who are on the fence already about the Macron thing, about the Yang, they would still believe that this happened, that Macron really did this, pressured the president to then pressure Candace to then put a stop to it. Even if they're being defensive of Macron, being like, well, because all the bad publicity, maybe the president could save the day. Like maybe they're pro-Meg, like yeah, whatever. But I'm like, they're more willing to believe this crazy wild ass story, because if anybody told this story just a few years last time Trump was president, nobody would believe it. But now they're willing to believe this crazy story, but they're still not going to believe that Bridget Macron is not a man. Come on. That's a man. And I'll tell you what, Candace is not a man. I know what a woman is. And yeah, I used to have a crush on Candace way back in the day. I think it was before she was married, but yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats to her and her lucky husband and their kids and all that fun stuff. But
brand new baby too. I think she just had one.
Yeah, back in February, I think.
Definitely. Man.
But no, I agree with Ruckus that it's something that you would expect from Trump, right? So very, very Trumpy. He calls a lot of people on the phone, I guess.
Celebrity shit.
Many people he just pick up the phone and call them.
It would pass the test in like a story in like a crime detective series or a novel. They'd be like, yeah, that's a valid, yeah, that works, right? The jury would be like, yeah, we believe him. We believe her. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there's one other weird thing that I can't get out of my head, and I don't know. I don't want to put too much weight into this, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. There is, of course, it could be esoteric too. I mean, the argument is over a potentially missing penis, and when you look at the Osiris and Isis and the mystery Babylon religion kind of pagan stuff, I don't know if you know anything about that stuff, Mystical Pharaoh, if you wanted to speak upon that. But like, I mean, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that I keep seeing in this discussion, and I'm like, it's very strange. I don't know if it's just, does that mean it's distraction? What is this? I don't know. I mention it because the Freemasons are obsessed with that stuff from the old religions. Yeah. That's all.
Right. No, they absolutely are. First off, when back in the day, when us old fogies started live streaming and doing internet radio, like right around the time that the first or second iPhone came out, maybe, and it had a new app on it called Podcasts. Nobody knew what a podcast was. Nobody cared. And people would literally say to us, podcasting? No one's going to listen to that. No one's going to do that. and then they would go back home and they would turn on their TiVo, right, or their DVR, and they would watch the Fox News and the CNN and the Comedy Central. If they were well-rounded, most of them just went straight to Comedy Central. Jon Stewart was the news. I'm serious. You young kids, you think I'm joking with you. I'm not joking with you. Infotainment was news for most of Gen X and much of Boomer Gen in the 90s and in the early 2000s and in the mid 2000s. It wasn't until 2010 when things started shifting bigly, right? Is that bigly or big league? And then by 2017 to have really, popped the membrane into where we are now. But to me, it is fucking mind-blowing that the president of the United States, like if everything's above board here, right? And we're not just living in a computer simulation or a sick joke, that the president of the United States is calling a podcaster and requesting her to drop a geopolitical narrative and trying to leverage the lives of Russian and Ukrainian soldiers on her decision. Holy fucking shit, you guys. Can we just get in the time machine, please? Can we please just get in the fucking time machine right now, the four of us, and go back in time to 2013, sitting on the couch with our friends, trying to tell them how the news on the frickin' Daily Show is trying to propagandize them, and then telling them where we talk about it, and them saying no one's going to listen to that. Here we are, 10, 11 years later, the president of the United States, love him or hate him, is calling the infamous, what did Fleety call her? Candace is hands down mommy vlogger royalty. The president of the United States in 2025, after a stupid, long, protracted trench warfare, hideous, deathful, over 500,000 soldier taking war has been going on, the president calls a podcaster and tells her if she doesn't stop saying that the president of France, that his old lady has a ding dong, that war will not stop. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is I don't know. It's either a sick joke or a big I told you so moment about podcasting, live streaming, and having public information sourced analysis of all things. In this case, geopolitical things, because this is not just a penis thing, it's a geopolitics thing.
And did you notice he saved his best card for last, which was offering himself to be a guest on her podcast?
Oh, that that's so swarmy. That is so swarmy. But you know what? She has so much class. She's just like, well, you know what? She kind of, without saying it, said, I don't think I need you. I'm in the top 5 podcasts of all podcasts, and I am mommy vlogger royalty now. I literally just popped out a child and set Ian Carroll on my seat for a couple weeks while I did that after exposing the bullshit with Epstein, Weinstein, Macron, on and on and on, and the daily stuff too, and the Hollywood stuff. And she's just like back at it now, and she's begging for subpoenas on some of the things that she's been talking about. She's getting them, and all it does is make her more popular and put more eyeballs on these stories. I bet you, I wish I would have looked at the numbers for her Macron series before this happened versus now. And by the way, what a brilliant just sort of, web foo, podcaster foo, to like wait this amount of time and then drop this on top of that series for people that haven't seen it. I mean, there must be people rushing to it in the millions right now.
Yeah. Okay. So just on that point, like the brilliance of the way that her and her team are doing this. I mean, months ago, like she was reporting the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni situation, which is, she was reporting her opinions about public records. And she also got like some insider tips and things like that. And, as you mentioned, Ruckus, she can seem kind of gossipy, but I'm definitely, I like drama. I mean, I was all about the Amber Heard case. Um, and I was especially interested in this one because I actually, like, when Hesher was at his dad's house one day, I ended up watching the movie that Blake Lively and Baldoni did together, and I was like, "Well, that was kind of an interesting movie," and I made him watch it, and he hated it, um, because it was kind of really bad. It wasn't a great movie, but then all this stuff came out.
Obnoxious.
Yeah, all this stuff came out in the news about it, and then she started reporting on it, like, and it was so, like, non-political, non-geopolitical, just gossipy. Like, there's like some crazy stuff going on here between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni, or yeah, I'm not sure if it's Baldoni or Dini.
Baldoni. And
Baldoni.
briefly,
Um,
Spore, if I could just break in real quick. It's interesting. Like, I hated the movie. I hate these topics because they're old to me. They're tired. But the
yeah,
interesting thing about this particular case, for those of you that are like me and didn't want to watch all that crap, the interesting thing is that it's sort of like the bookend at the end of the Me Too movement, much like Marilyn Manson's case being dismissed. It's another thing like that where rich and famous people think that they can subvert the pain and suffering of people that have been sexually abused to their own advantage, whether it's PR, power, money, or all three. And that's exactly what it appears from all of the evidence that um, Ryan Reynolds and his wife Blake Lively committed against Justin Baldoni. So there was a lawsuit, a countersuit, all this stuff going on. Candace has been on it like a hawk, as have
yeah.
other people. Sorry, had to throw that context in there. Spore, go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. I'm sure the listeners do too. And then, but the thing was that the brilliant thing was, like, she would do these 15-minute episodes that, like, the title would be like obviously super catching and about the sort of like Hollywood drama. And the first part of the episode would be about that, and then the second part would be about all of the children and women getting killed in Palestine. So it was like Jay's great at this too, because I mean, especially in our early days, like, it was like focused, like he would focus on like a theme of a movie, something that like everybody knows about, like a popular theme, and then he would talk about like what it really means in context of our reality. But I think that she's really, her and her team are really smart about how they decide to sort of market the material so that it's not just about the drama or Hollywood stuff, but it's about like what's happening in our world, and who's contributing or participating in these atrocities.
Yeah, definitely. Um, what else? I had another thought about this. Oh, yeah, going back to like the role of a podcaster, albeit a mega podcaster in this case. Like, what is this new novelty where all of a sudden a podcaster who has a bone to pick on a certain, you know what I mean? That's one citizen, an individual. And in her case, with a husband who acts as a producer and a bodyguard and several lawyers, you know what I mean? But it's if everything is as it's explained to be, it's a family operation, basically operating out of a home, doing current events analysis. And are we, as a world, as a global society, the words I don't like using together at once, but as that's what we are, we're watching what's going on in Ukraine with Russia. Are we to all really allow two world leaders to make us all look at one person in their house just exercising their First Amendment right and say it's all on you. You know what I mean? That'd be like someone calling me up and being like, "Hey, if you stop ragging on political Zionism, uh, we'll stop dropping bombs over there." You know what I mean? It's like, wait, what? Me? Like I get to decide? What's that? Like that's what Candace is going to bed thinking. Like, wait, so it's up to me whether or not they sign a deal, and what the fuck does Macron like? Where is he in stopping a peace process? So are we to really believe that Emmanuel Macron, if Candace is correct, the little leashed sex toy of some pederast weirdo, is the linchpin, is the long pole in the tent as to whether the killing can stop in a land far away from us and far away from him too, frankly.
Because his wife's feelings are hurt. And
Yeah.
like why are they so hurt unless there's some truth to it? I mean, honestly, like, there's haters online everywhere, like doesn't matter who you are. If you're gonna be online, you're gonna get haters. Spore is a bore, right? Fucking, if you don't have a dick and this is not an issue, just come out and make a statement, own up to it. Be like, hey, you're wrong, Candace. I have a vagina. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this whole like sending letters and being like, don't talk about my wife anymore. It's hurting her feelings. Tell Trump it's hurting her feelings, but we'll stop this war, this possibly world, like, not, I guess that one's not going to be WW3. It might be another one, but like this ongoing useless war because my wife's feelings are hurt because you've been trolling her on the internet. What?
We were worried about World War III. We should have been worried about WWE, not WW3.
Yeah, really. And like, is this supposed to put less doubt on the character of Brigitte Macron if ultimately the president of the United States has to contact a podcaster to ask her, not even directly, right? Has to go through an intermediary. The president goes through an intermediary. So let me get this right. The prime minister of France whispers in the president's ear, tells him privately on the tarmac, "Hey, we got to do this. Otherwise, I'm digging my feet in. I'm not going to stop the war." Can you imagine that? Being that guy, first off, try to just imagine the situation being Emmanuel Macron, emasculated Macron, and going to Donald Trump and just be like, "No, we're gonna make the war not stop." How the fuck they're gonna do that? I don't know. I don't understand that part. But we're gonna make the war not stop unless you get Candace Owens to stop talking troll about Brigitte.
And then that begs the other question, like, how is the French prime minister going to stop the conflict between Russia and Ukraine? Like,
yeah, it makes no sense. It makes
Dude,
zero
you guys
sense.
don't know. He's gonna he's gonna send Bridget into combat, and she's like freaking Terminator. Look at her. Like she's like Rambo.
You ever seen her walk? You ever seen like a zoomed out picture of her walk? Oh my god!
It's like a weird android robot thing. It's
that's
weird.
like those little like those dogs in Korea or is it Korea or
like during the COVID
Singapore.
era.
Singapore.
Yeah, the Singapore
the
security
Singapore
dogs.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we had them in our army parade recently too. They're just everywhere now. I guess.
Yeah, they're here now too.
All the cops
They
and
have
all the
machine guns now. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, they shoot it's they hot swap it for sparklers for the 4th of July. Let's see here. It also shows, like, if this is all above board, and I have my doubts, but anyways, if this is all above board, it shows how twisted and corrupted global leadership is because they care more about their PR, their social media presence, and their character narratives than they do anything else. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this embarrassing situation. And this should be embarrassing to Donald Trump. It should be fucking embarrassed that you have to call a podcaster and basically beg and try to bait them. Like, that is this the art of the deal, Donald Trump? Calling a podcaster, an independent podcaster, trying to leverage the lives of potentially hundreds of thousands of people, trying to use your celebrity to come on their show as though they need that. You know what I mean? It's just like this is a pretty, if everything's above board. Again, this is a really sad statement about our politicians globally, because they don't give a fuck about you or me or the countries that they serve. They give a fuck about their PR campaign and their long-term narrative.
I have a new theory, guys. I don't know why I didn't think of this until just now. It was something you said. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was listening back in my head to her story, and I'm like, oh, man, like a good detective. I should have caught this from the beginning. The only thing she did to confirm to herself that that was indeed a phone call from the president was she got a phone call from a Florida number, and then she was talking to a person on the phone who sounded like Trump. Do you remember these? There's these two comedians from like Russia or somewhere.
Yeah.
And they call and pretend to be world leaders and prank people all the time and get them to say embarrassed. I wonder if she didn't get pranked, if she didn't get punked by some sort of either deep fake Trump or some impersonators like those guys, or maybe even those guys themselves. Although they use this isn't there. I don't think they would do this, but. What if that's a thing? And then what if it was Macron that put this person up to it to try to discredit Candace, because Trump would be like, I wasn't me. Yeah, I don't know. I now I'm doing a 180. I don't think that was really Trump. So I believe that she got that phone call, but I don't believe that was really Trump.
Okay.
AI.
French intelligence. Ruckus is accusing. Do I have this right? You're accusing French intelligence of infiltrating Candace Owens' phone via someone that she knows, and then committing this message to her via a deep fake. What do you think, Pharaoh? Is this the world we live in? Is this possible right now?
Well, it is definitely possible, but I don't think it's that. The interesting piece is when he was telling her, "Oh, I don't think she's a man." I was sitting in front, like sitting having dinner with her right across of her, and she is actually a woman. So I was trying to sell her that no, she's not a man. But I doubt that, Ruckus. I don't know. I believe Trump would do this, and it's so many people say that just they get a phone call, a number from Florida calling them, and it's friggin' Trump.
Yeah, the ego involved here. I mean, it's plausible, Ruckus, but I got to side with Pharaoh on this. I'm afraid this may be reality, if you will.
Yeah.
Sad as that is.
Did he abuse his power to get her phone number?
I mean,
no, he's probably had her phone number on her
on the scale of abusing powers. I mean, doesn't he just have to ask Christy Nome, basically, like, "Hey, what's Ruckus's phone number?" Hey.
Oh wait, Palantir gave it to him. Never mind.
Yeah, ask Peter Thiel.
You guys saw the video when actually when that dude slapped Macron, right?
Yeah, that dude. Yes, we saw Brigitte slap Macron on the departing the airplane with the open tube and cameras down there watching it, and him awkwardly twisting and trying to wave to the cameras as though he had not just been manhandled.
Bitch slapped. I mean, that was a bitch slap.
Yeah, I posted the video if you wanna.
All right, it's worth another look. That is for sure.
That was a weak punch by a weak old man, is what that was.
Yeah, and look how it startled him. Like he's been taking jabs like this for his whole life or something. Here we go. Pilot opens the door.
I have a penis. Shut her up. What you were saying.
It's like one of those shove slaps, like just noodle arm. Noodle arm shove slap. Oh, hi crowd.
Oh, he's so used to it. You can That reaction is just so like, okay, great, we were on camera.
He tries to give her his arm there. Look at that. He's got like C-3PO arm, and his dude's like, no, I'm not touching that.
She looks like David Bowie. That shape, that frame, right?
Like
Do
a
not offend David Bowie
yeah.
Nothing
with
against
this
David Bowie.
with this
Well, he had a
information.
penis, so yes, she looks like him.
Yeah, well, in that sense.
in some sort.
Oh man. Look at those shoulder pads too. Those are impressive shoulder pads for 2025.
I think it's the legs that gets me.
Yeah, the gap there is not
It's just I have
it's
not
just all
it's
kind of
weird.
wrong. I don't even want to get into analyzing the gap.
Analyzing.
No, stop.
Maybe she's vegan.
Speaking of, I heard the Diddy verdict came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
Yeah.
Mystical?
Oh, I heard.
Oh, it's
I'm just-
true.
I'm just dragging it.
Yeah.
What? Wait, I thought there was more than just one thing with all of that.
Yeah, that's true also.
So after the Diddy verdict, you guys want to get into that now?
I mean, sure. I don't have anything else to say about Macron that hasn't been said on the interwebs already. Go make your own minds up. Let us know.
He was found guilty on 2 counts out of the 5, right? So
Something like that.
So,
yeah, I gotta
he escaped racketeering and sex trafficking, which would have put him in prison for life.
yeah, I got a report right here that'll give us all the stats.
But right after that verdict, if you click on that link I just sent you, I was out in the street celebrating with these guys.
Oh, dude, I know, right? I mean, this is truly the place to start. I'm glad you had this because I had this one set aside too because I think that we should first focus on Diddy's supporters. I think that Diddy's supporters have earned themselves spotlight in boiler room infamy here as the Diddy trial comes to a close. So let's see. I should probably share the correct tab, which would be that one. Let's see them react here. Make sure we're not muted. Let's go.
The family of Sean Diddy Combs celebrating after learning his long-awaited fate in court. The family staying stoic as they entered Diddy's courthouse July 2nd before departing with smiles and waves after hearing the media mogul's partial victory, not guilty on 3 out of the 5 counts, covering charges for racketeering and sex trafficking. Per NBC News reporters inside the courtroom, Diddy's loved ones were seen celebrating the results of his now winding down legal saga. The Bad Boy Records founder is facing 2 convictions, both surrounding prostitution offenses. NBC News noting Diddy's son Christian King Combs said his dad was feeling great about the verdicts, with Diddy reportedly telling his gathered family, "Thank you. Love you." Chance Combs spotted seemingly wiping away tears alongside her grandma, who gave a thumbs up to the media frenzy outside the Manhattan courthouse, following weeks of putting up a united front for Diddy, who maintained his innocence across all charges in the wake of his arrest in September 2024.
I don't know if they have that the what's in the article in here, but you can actually just read the article itself.
Yeah, that was not the clip I was expecting, but it gave us the bulk of the information we needed there. So yeah, guilty on just 2 of the 5 charges in his sex trafficking trial. There were fans lined up outside on the lower Manhattan courtroom and were celebrating the verdict with baby oil. That's right. With baby oil.
What does that mean? Like
The-
celebrating, like they're squirting each other or something?
Oh,
Like,
well,
exactly right.
I'll show
So-
you. I got it right here. This is exactly how the fans were celebrating. I think it's contained in this CBS New York clip here.
Chambers packed in closely outside of court for hours, waiting for a final court ruling in the Diddy trial. Moments filled with support.
Free pop! Free pop!
Baby oil, a key piece in the trial, and outrage.
It's an atrocity. It's a disgusting decision.
The jury acquitted Sean Diddy Combs of the most serious counts.
The charges were too excessive.
And found him guilty of 2 lesser charges for transportation to engage in prostitution. Cassie Ventura, Combs' former girlfriend, testified for 4 days about her rocky relationship with Combs and described in detail instances she says Combs physically abused her.
I was definitely hoping for him to be charged with the trafficking.
Ashley Potter says the jury ruling sent a clear message to women across the country.
I think it stays the same. That we're expected to stay quiet or deal with it because there's not really any justice.
But
All right, I'm gonna stop that one right there because they don't show any more of the oil party. But yeah, I found extended clips of people squirting each other with baby oil, twerking, dancing, all kinds of stuff. Like I did not expect that until I saw it.
Like so weird.
yeah, in the article it say this includes one woman dancing as she removed her wig.
Yep.
While a man drizzled baby oil on her.
Yeah.
On a nearby ledge, while another shirtless man poured baby oil into his body.
Wait, yeah, time machine. Can we go back to like the 90s or 80s or something?
Yep. This is
weird.
this is the baby oil we've been served. Yeah.
It's interesting because the baby oil was the center of the or the symbol of all the the disgusting stuff that he was doing, right? And it's interesting that they are using it to celebrate, like they are embracing the degeneracy that he was actually doing.
Well, it was like, okay, so I saw, and this is from something that was put in our general chat in Discord a couple weeks ago. I can't remember if it was Cabby or I'm not sure who it was, so I apologize that I can't give you a shout out right now. But it was this random podcast or YouTube guy that got to meet with he was like outside the courthouse and got to meet with like somebody on the defense team, and the dude was basically just like, I mean, he was like, the fact is these were all consensual parties. Nobody was not doing this unless they wanted to. There's the freak offs, they're all consensual people, so like that's kind of like the majority of the defense is that people that were participating agreed to participate. And I mean, if that's all true, like, I mean, should he be locked up? I don't know. I mean, he's obviously not somebody I would ever hang out with, but like, did these people want to hang out with him? And did they want to do all this stuff? And did they want to be a part of his baby oil messes? I don't know.
Was he doing the Friends of Jeffrey thing?
That's the biggest problem. It's like they want to focus on nothing but the baby oil, the prostitution, the creepy sex stuff, and the the beatings, right? But they have a like 10-year history or something like that of Cassie as his girlfriend, loving the lifestyle for the most part. Yeah, she has to do freak offs. Yeah, she gets tossed around a little bit, but she drives around in Lambos and parties in the craziest parties, and
yeah, and they have the craziest drugs too. You know what I mean? Like, what was that called? Like, I can't remember, the pink coke or something, like, or pink snow or something like that, which is like ecstasy and cocaine combined together. So like, they were all getting high as you can get, I guess. And were they consensual? Maybe. They very well might have been at the time, and then reflectively been like, well, I didn't like it when he beat me up in the hallway. I mean, I don't know. It's just like, it's really hard to know, like, I mean, was he a racketeer? I don't, it's like, who was in charge? Was it really him or somebody else? Like, there's so many. I feel like the Amber Turd case was a little bit more like, kind of like, straightforward, where it was like Johnny Depp against his ex-wife, and like had all these incidents that he publicly talked about, and
Yeah, this doesn't compare. Anyone
yeah.
who would compare the two would be missing the mark. But I think you're right, and I think, man, my thing is not working well tonight. It keeps automatically flipping to other focus cameras. I don't know what's going on
What do
there.
you mean your thing?
The StreamYard thing is just not.
Yeah, it keeps switching
It's
users.
like automatically putting someone else in the highlight when
Oh.
I'm not even touching it. I don't know. It's freaking
so,
weird.
so here is the thing. We're not gonna know, right? Because and this. Had anyone been in juries before? Jury duties?
Nah.
Okay. So I've been, and it's interesting because they had 12, right, and they deliberated for 3 days, right, and they reach verdict on the 2 counts first, and they just could not reach a verdict on the third one, which was I think they were stuck on the racketeering, and they just keep deliberating, and the point is, I have no idea what the prosecutor, right, actually, how they put the case, how they presented, what evidence they presented to the jury, right, and that can be part of why they could not get him in those charges, right. That doesn't mean he's innocent or not, but that means that these guys that were sitting there and trying to make to that the federal government, beyond reasonable doubt, trying to show that he was either racketeering or sex trafficking people, right, and that burden is high, and if that federal prosecutor did not do their job in the right way to put that case in the right way, it just can throw it all off. So I have no idea how they established that case, what evidence they put across. I think his lawyers also played pretty good tactics in it, from what I just read. Number one, they did not put him in on the stage to testify, right? Because he
Yeah.
doesn't need to prove anything. He just
Yeah. Good call.
because it's the burden is on the federal government, right? That's and they tried to just poke holes in it and try to play that it's as Spore was saying, that it's just all consensual, right? But just from the look of it, from anyone outside, I mean, I don't think racketeering is far-fetched, right? But again, did they have evidence for that? I don't know. But why would you do those parties based on what we've been reading for months, right? That people are just getting blasted, and especially like a lot of black rappers, right? Like dudes, right? So I have no idea what it is, but it's um and we might not ever find out, but at least they got him on, like, other 3 counts. What will be the judgment itself? How much is gonna? I think the maximum is 20 years for those charges, but I have no idea what the judge is gonna do. His lawyer is just saying that next year is probably gonna be out. So I don't know where he's getting that confidence from, but I don't know. But I think it's whatever it is, people are just sick of degeneracies, and people are, I think in that case, they were trying to see another parallel to Epstein, right? Someone that is just, doing bad things and doing those acts, right? And they just wanted to see some justice served for it. But I don't know. I don't know how good of a job did the federal government do to actually present that case.
Yeah, and and exactly. And the other question is, what vulnerabilities would they open up to their own assets, their own,
That's right.
mission critical people, whatever, who have been at Diddy's parties. Like, I don't know, for example, former presidents of the United States, something like that. There's plenty of reasons for this case to be a scandalous, what's your subtitle there? Baby oil fireworks case, and then let that fizzle out because, like you said, everybody's so just bludgeoned with degeneracy as it is. Like, most people are not going to care. They'll probably even buy his next album when it comes out, and it's called, Baby Oil Fireworks, because he loves the boiler room so much. You know what I mean? It's like, and the whole like idea of a racketeering case in the first place was a little bit of an overreach. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't need to create racketeering for any other reason than to leverage it against mobsters back in the day. That's the only reason we even have racketeering, and it's kind of a superfluous charge, I would say, or at least a charge that could be um, abused in one way or another. It could be abused to make someone a criminal for life and in jail for life, and it could be abused to, you know, uh, do something a little bit more like what we just saw here, maybe, because the big story is not the sex stuff, it's the influence stuff and the money stuff, and maybe the murder and sabotage stuff from some of the things we've heard. But we'll never know because it was only about
Mhm.
freaking baby oil and booty shaking.
Well, I will say that I saw a number of tweets today that showed his involvement with likes of Obama and Oprah, and I think there might be a sort of parallel sort of Epstein list attached to Diddy that made this so that he's not going to be prosecuted for all these things because other things might actually be let out.
100% sport. This is the Boulay version of Epstein.
Mhm. Yeah, and one thing we to keep in mind also, Hollywood and Hollywood star throughout, they have been used as assets either for intelligence and operations, um, and yeah. So if he was used to recruit or gather some dirt on people just to control them, then
Footage.
yeah, then definitely they're not going to throw him under the bus. But you would think that they would Epstein him if that's the case, and just shut it down. But I guess they just went a different route this time.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Well, I
mean,
know what really happened, guys. I mean, I can't believe you didn't realize this yet. First of all, I just got to say that obviously Diddy is incredibly guilty, and the only reason he got off is because somebody called in a favor. As exemplified by the story of Candace Owens. We know how that works. So you guys probably missed this. It's breaking news, but apparently the Prime Minister of Poland, Donald Tusk, his ex-girlfriend is a huge fan of Diddy, and she pressured him to pressure the president to then go ahead, and all of those jurors on the Diddy trial each got their own phone call from a mysterious number in Florida.
and the phone call opened with, "Hi there. Ain't no party like a Diddy party." Oh man. Yeah, this opened and closed real quick, didn't it? I wish that they would have just televised the whole thing. They should have televised the whole thing. So I've read a little bit and I've seen a little bit and seen a couple transcripts here and there and some analyses of transcripts, and ooh boy, there's some nasty stuff in there. So why did we have to see Amber Heard and Johnny Depp and we can't see this? I just don't understand. But we'll have to deal with the courtroom drawings, right? The courtroom drawings,
What's up with those two, by the way?
yeah,
I'm like,
seriously, what is that?
the another like, oh, I'm just a sweet little angel. He's the dominant image out of all this is him down there praying, right? I'm like, huh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I just
Is that
shut.
even him? I don't. I'm like, that's the other thing too. It's like, what's with the get up and the gray hair and everything? I'm confused.
right? Like we just saw a video of this guy kicking a woman in a hotel lobby.
If somebody showed that picture to somebody and said, "Who do you think this is?" How long do you think it would take them to guess that was Diddy? I mean, I think it would take a damn long time, to be completely honest with you,
Right?
if
I'd,
ever.
I'd be like, is that the Reading Rainbow guy? Okay, so JTM says, I think this whole trial was a humiliation ritual to get him back in line. I have not ruled that out myself. I have not. I think that is something that we should consider.
Conspiracy theory award goes to JTM there. Hey, what's up, Dr.
Media Bear,
Clown?
what's up? It's obviously Uncle Ben.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah, Uncle Ben, that is. Yeah, Media Bear, what's up? Good to see you. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, never mind, never mind. I mean, I wonder how they even do the discovery process in a case like that. Spore's punching out. Thank you, Spore. That was wonderful having you. Thanks for kicking us off tonight. Yeah, wow. So I guess the Diddy trial's over. He gets to what, like do a little bit of soft time, and a little bit of hard time, probably come out, maybe an ankle bracelet, right? What does he do then? Is he going to produce the Fresh Prince of Bel Air? I saw Will Smith trying to rap in New York, and this huge crowd of people that looked not interested whatsoever in my scroll the other day. I had a fun laugh on that one. I guess parents just don't understand isn't hitting in 2025, perhaps.
What's the expression about tigers don't change stripes or so? He's probably going to party. He's probably going to have a giant freak off to celebrate for 4th of July, a giant 4th of July freak off. I'm calling it right now.
He's heading to Diddy's new mansion for Freak Off 2025 or early 2026, depending on how sentencing goes.
I'd be willing to bet that's one of those types of parties where it doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you come from. You all are going to get along real tight and slippery.
Yeah, slippery when wet. That's for sure.
Well, the good thing is they denied him bail at least.
Oh, well, the Babylon Bee is saying Diddy celebrates acquittal with massive freak off. So I'm sure he will. Wake Jake
prison.
posted that one. Thanks, Jake. I'm sure he will, but he's going to have to wait a little bit probably. I wonder if Cassie will attend. So I guess that's that. I mean, we're done with that. That we right? We're done with Epstein. So are we putting bookends on everything right now? We're just like done with all the current previous things. Is that kind of the vibe I'm getting? Like, yeah, World War III. Yes, nope. Bookend. What else? Diddy trial. Gonna expose the industry and all the famous people he knows. Nope. Just baby oil, fireworks.
It's all about new beginnings, guys.
Right.
You just have to let the
Keywords.
past go and just start fresh.
It's time to forgive and forget, right?
That's right. You have to, and you have to trust the plan.
We have to trust the plan. We have to turn the other cheek. We have to say, look at Diddy. He realizes the folly of his ways. All of his creepy clone twin triplet children out front from we don't know which baby mamas are really happy. The fans are out there twerking and taking their wigs off and getting sprayed down with the baby oil, right? America. Look at the fireworks. America. It's like, there it is.
And another big, beautiful bookend is coming tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern.
A
time.
BBB? Another BBB?
Yeah.
No, that's when he signs it. It's passed the House barely. It squeaked by. I think it was a 3-vote difference, 217 to 214.
Yeah.
Okay. So there were 2 Republicans that voted against Ranks, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the details of the rest. I mean, the reaction when the Speaker of the House made the decision, called it or whatever, was half of the room was like pissed, the other half was like, yay, whatever. But I know all of the investors out there are certainly happy. Yeah, but he's expected to sign it. Everybody's saying he's going to sign it. He said he's going to sign it, and I guess he signs it tomorrow at 5 p.m. Like, it's like the last thing he's going to do the day before 4th of July weekend. Is that how this works? I'm like, why? But anyways, and it's immediate, so it's all in effect. So there's just going to be fresh liquidity injected into the markets. A sneaky way to get around the Jerome Powell dispute, because he's been trying to pressure him to get into some quantitative easing with those interest rates, and this was another way to do it. And it's never been done this way before, and everybody's talking about it. All the economists and investors, they're all happy. That's for damn sure. But this could be significantly bad for the economy overall, and the dollar is your value down again, yada yada yada, all that fun. It's gonna be a little bit of pain, but we'll come out through the other side. And all this talk of it's gonna be like a whole year of like Trump and America and celebrate. You thought it was bad up till now. It's gonna probably get like insane. Like, I'm gonna develop Trump derangement syndrome. It's just gonna happen. I'm sorry.
It's bound to happen. If we're going to be in long-term media relationships and political relationships with those in power, derangement syndrome is required at one point or another, I think. Oh, man. So another big, beautiful bookend, the big, beautiful bill. It seems like...
So they removed, do you know that they removed actually all the 2A stuff from it?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
that was the only reason I was supporting this big, beautiful bill. I wanted suppressors. I mentioned this before. I wanted suppressors, short barrel rifles, and short barrel shotguns taken off of the NFA altogether. And they weren't even willing to go that far. They were willing to throw it in there, but they were only willing to change some definitions that would have allowed some states to continue to violate people's rights in that respect. But now it's just, and frankly, that's the way it should be. This is the problem, though. They put things like that in a bill like that where they don't belong. That should be a 2-page bill. It should have its own number. It should have overwhelming support from the GOP and from 3/4 of the Democrats. If this is really America, that's how that should work. It should be really fucking easy. Everybody could read it in 10 minutes or less. It would be consistent with constitutional history and legal history. And it would fix a hell of a lot of problems. But no, they want to, even though I support them fixing that transgression, they got to put it in this bill. It's like, what else is in the bill? Like, we keep hearing about all these things that are like polarizing to the right or left that they might want or not want. So everybody's got something they like about it and something they hate about it. And then at the last minute, they strip out all the best stuff and then pass it. And it's this big, trillions of dollar full of fucking pork and legalese, and nobody's actually read it. So I don't know, man.
But there's no tax on tips, everybody.
Hey, bookend, delivering. This is the message
Promises
lately.
made, promises delivered.
Promises delivered.
No, it's not even that. I think they have it to a certain limit. Here, let's actually let me see.
No, he's even saying that, dude. Like, that's in his social media, in his truth. He's saying, like, once I sign this, I will have delivered everything I promised.
Yeah, that's complete. This is just bullshit.
Yeah, but so many people are eating it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People are like, "Oh, you did everything. This is the bomb. MAGA all the way." And it's like, wait a minute, you got this.
Okay, good. If you're done, can you leave now?
Right. You fixed everything. It's all good. Okay, so we can be left to our own devices for a while. Oh man!
Like he gave what? ICE now got $150 billion. So he had no excuse.
Not enough.
He had no excuse. So let's see how many he's gonna deport.
Oh my god! Yeah, man.
How is that a problem? You can just throw money at and it's going to go away. I don't get it.
Well, because he keeps saying that we don't have resources, right? So I just want to see how he's going to act now.
We will see, won't we?
Yeah, but they keep adding to the budgets. Like, we don't have enough resources. Added the budget. DOD went up to $1 trillion, basically. ICE obviously, like,
You know why, right? Because we ran off actually most of our weapon reserves right now. We're running low on most of missiles because we give it to Ukraine and Israel.
oh hell yeah. I mean, dude, they've been burning through that stuff like it's the plan, like they're doing it on purpose.
Out with the old, in with the new, my friend.
They seem to be disallowing the new to be very good also, though. That's the other weird thing. It's like,
I think
what
they were
is
just been. I think it's under wraps, bro. I think
Yeah.
it's just tight-lipped. I think it's out there. I think it's all the Palantir, Androl. It's the drones. It's the Trump running around talking about his Golden Dome, whatever the hell that is. That kind of shit.
More like
Space
golden drone.
weapons.
Yes, so they have 25,000 limit, so you can deduct up to 25,000 only in tips.
Only, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, everything has a catch. It's like, yeah, promises all kept. If you're willing to stay inside the narrative and not look at all the details, right? Like it's an easy claim to make. But you can't tell me that you stopped the wars when I wake up in the morning and I see that the IDF has bombed a doctor in his private home in Gaza. It's just like, wait, no, I'm sorry. and the day before that, I wake up and see that they bombed people in southern Lebanon, and I have to see the aftermath of that. And it's just like, okay, it's a lot of big, bold claims here, big, bold bills, big, bold claims. But I don't know, man. I all that aside, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too skeptical about all that stuff because that's my natural stance. I have resting skeptical face, but I think that the overall picture here, the overall narrative from Butler, Pennsylvania to right now, like this character arc of Donald J. Trump, is all happening for a reason. And it's these bookends that we're talking about. It's like it's a complete picture now as far as those that manage this narrative are concerned, and those that are dyed in the wool, trust the plan, right? Accomplished everything. So cool. What's next? And what happens when you have a portion of your base that is just will say, okay, whatever you say we need to do, we're going to do it because you bookend everything. You don't leave us hanging. You stop all the bad stuff. You warp speed us through it to the end and on to hashtag the next thing. So why are all these things wrapping up right now? Right? Epstein, all of it. He sent, or someone in his administration sent Bongino and Cash to put the bow on Epstein. That's it. And who did they do it through? They did it through podcasters. Same with JFK. Here's the bow on JFK. Send it to the podcasters. I mean, this is a little sus. Am I being paranoid, or is this a little sus?
It's 2025. We got to be sus of everything, dude.
And we got to be paranoid of everything. We should be both.
In fact, I have to wonder: is it really 2025? That's how bad it is.
Yeah. Is it 2047 and we are stuck in a broken simulation of 2025, perhaps?
Yeah. Instead of screaming like, get these people out of my head, we need to get ourselves out of their heads. Or wait a minute. I'm confused. Yeah. And it's all the same garbage again. Like, I swear I talked about this because Elon Musk did a poll during his first fight with Trump where he was like, do you think we should start a new political party? And now he's like talking about it. Now he's openly talking about it. We need a new political party in the United States of America. I mean, serious enough for like the news to pick up on it and start pushing that propaganda. What's up with that? I saw this other big headlines today. I didn't read the stories, but China. I mean, why do you make stories and headlines about this? But China supports Elon Musk in his feud against Donald Trump. Like, what? Okay, what are they doing here? What the heck?
So what fill me in here. I'm a little behind the curve on the latest Trump versus Elon here. What is it over? Is it over electronic vehicles?
It's over this what just passed. And I mean, it was just like, before.
What's the bill?
Yeah, before, I mean, while it was still being debated in the Senate and everything, Trump, like, because Musk had gone quiet for a while. It's like, well, we haven't heard from him in a minute, and then bam, out of nowhere, he's like, I'm taking the gloves off and I'm talking smack again, and he's back on the thing, and he was saying that we was going to do a whole new political party. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, granted, it was in the middle of Peter Thiel running around convincing everybody by accident, apparently, that he was the Antichrist. So I can understand how some people missed it, because that was fun.
That footage was great. Oh man, Peter Thiel. Wow.
But yeah, again, there's just like they don't want to let this idea, this narrative, whatever it is, propaganda narrative, whatever this fake storyline and this fake reality simulation that we're living in, that it's Trump versus Musk. So it looks to me like they're not going to. I don't think we're going to see like them coming back together again, and that would actually play very nicely into my long-running prediction, or wondering, curious, not prediction, because I always suspected that at some point there's going to be a throwing under the bus of all of those blue conservative X check marks that were so far up Trump and Musk's ass that you couldn't tell whose ass they were up. And then we had the first division between Musk and Trump, and that caused a huge schism between, in particular, the whole cat turd thing is still going on. So it's like, and then we saw the fallout start to trickle down into the MAGA starting to split. Now we've got the MTG running around doing the Tucker Carlson interview. Who's another big one who's been breaking away from the whole Trump and Musk bro group? Thomas Massey, he's always good.
Yeah.
But the other guy who's usually like MTG, usually the loudmouth troublemaker, he's got like the fang bang bang, right? Who's that guy? Damn it!
Oh, yeah.
He's got the last name where you spell it wrong if you hear it wrong in your head. Damn it, I'm having trouble. Anyways, you know the one.
Yeah, I think I know who you mean.
Anyways, but yeah, so it's always the clowns that are like, oh well, yeah, but they believe in Q or whatever the media says about these people, right?
No one cares what the media says. It's all about podcasters, man. Everyone's watching Candace and Joe.
But who's watching Michelle and who's watching Gavin?
Oh, who's watching Michelle? You are. You're about to watch Michelle.
Damn it.
And I am sorry for this, but I have another WTF moment here. What is this?
Oh man.
What is this?
I just love everything about the 4th of July. Friends, family, barbecue, and fireworks. And as you and your families are out there, don't forget to stay hydrated. Plezzy Hydration or Plezzy Fizz are great options with less sugar to try out this weekend. Have a great holiday weekend, everybody. I just love.
Whoa.
Please.
What?
Drink, please.
Drink Plez, please. Please, Plez.
It's pleb with a Z.
Plebs, drink Plez, please. What the hell was that?
I hope it was unauthorized deep fake attempt to promote a product, and that wasn't really the former first lady actually selling.
I don't think so, because look at her boobs. Like look at where it starts and where it ends.
I'm not looking at her boobs. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm pointing that it's AI.
Let's check it out. Let's do what you do when you don't know the answer. You ask Grok. Grok says, the claim about Michelle Obama. We have to ask AI if it's AI. Here we go. Grok says, the claim about Michelle Obama facing financial hardship or divorce is not supported by evidence. Her net worth estimated at $70 to $135 million with Barack Obama comes from book deals, speaking engagements, a Netflix deal, indicating financial stability. Her Pleasy ad aligns with her advocacy for healthier eating, not desperation. Divorce rumors were denied by Michelle in interviews this year, citing personal choices for event absences. The couple appeared together at the 2024 DNC, refuting speculation. The ad's casual style is a marketing choice for Plezzy's audience, not a sign of distress. The claim appears speculative and lacks credible support. So, according to Grok, you guys, this is more about why Michelle would do that rather than if she actually did that. So,
Can you put me a link here? I just want to ask Grok. I just cannot get over what I noticed.
yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to analyze the ratios.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
curious.
kids back in our day, what journalists used to do to determine if something was true or not is they would have gotten on the phone and gotten a hold of somebody who represents Michelle Obama to get them to either confirm or deny whether or not said thing was accurate. But no, now it's ask Grok.
Right? And then there was a generation after that where we would go to this website called Ask Jeeves, and then Yahoo, and then Google, where we would type in news, Michelle Obama, Plessy, and we would get a full screen of everybody's different take on that, which is what
It's
I
a waste
just.
of time, bro. You got the AI summary right on top, man.
Well, I just did a Gen Xer thing, and I did exactly what I said. And here at Good Morning America, here it is. Michelle Obama launches Plessy Nutrition, new line of healthy food and drinks for kids. It's her product. It's her freaking product. She's not shilling for some other company. I mean, obviously, it's you got to wonder about her little pet products and projects, but yeah.
But still might have been an AI because she could have very well allowed them to just use her likeness and save her the time and effort and the money and make extra money that way. I think it's probably because I think Mystical Pharaoh might be onto something about something's weird about the video.
I don't know. Do you find anything? I don't see why she wouldn't just go on a camera and shill. She does it all the time. She has a podcast.
Yeah, but she charges way too much money for that, and she
Well, it's those speaking appearances, man. That's what'll get you. Oh man, $600,000, something like that. If you want to get her to speak, I know people are like, "Oh, she's desperate for money. Barack's gonna dump her." No, no. I would say that she's doing more of like a Elon Musk sort of push here. Like she wants to have a Netflix deal and own a beverage company for kids that's in her little virtuous swim lane. She wants to do what else? She's got all these things. Benefit companies, Plessy Nutrition, health and beverage options. All right. When I first saw it, I thought she was just shilling for like she took a job for some beverage company, but no, this is her venture, or at least it has her name and face on it. Still, though, very odd. Like, have we ever seen a former first lady come out with something like this? We've never seen one, and it's not just this. It's the Netflix deal. It's this. Oh, there's a very strange sort of rebranding going on the.
The next thing you know is that like the current first lady is going to release a meme coin. Oh wait, that already happened.
Right? Oh man. Wow. This all feels so unreal. It's weird to have to look at like every story and be like, is this fucking real? Is this real? Like we're in real time here, just like, can this even be real? Did you find anything interesting, Pharaoh?
I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just interested right now in studying Michelle Obama boobs.
You're studying.
The video looks weird, and I thought she did not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that now. I will let you know my findings.
All right. Well, we all know something is off with Michelle Obama, and we're all trying to figure out what it is. What is it? Is it the size 14 Air Jordans? I don't know. I don't know. This is an ongoing mystery, my friends.
Now, if Obama makes a strange phone call to a foreign leader somewhere and asks them to put pressure on one of their most popular podcasters who are making accusations about Michelle, then we know that there's a there, or there's a there that used to be there and maybe still there.
Right. All right. Well, boy, we're just ripping and roaring our way through the doom scroll this week here. I guess up next I should shout out Bob Villan, Vylan, who performed at a UK performance and made some chants and shouts in support of Palestine, and looks like he's facing a lot of probably expected cancellation of tours and such. Just thought that was noteworthy. I thought the wide angle of the crowd chanting along with him in support and the amount of colors I saw in there was noteworthy, but thought I'd throw that out there. And I think this is just going to make him more popular than he was before, just like the last performance artists that did that. What were their names, Ruckus? I can't remember the name of that band. We talked about
Kneecap.
them. Yeah, Kneecap. Right. Spore and I were trying to remember what it was. I was like, was it Sucker Punch? I knew it was something along those lines.
It's Tanya Harding's favorite band,
Right?
Kneecap.
Yeah. Yeah, they play at her 4th of July party.
It worked. I mean, I had never heard of Bob Villan. I'd never heard of Kneecap. So this level of being projected into the public,
Got them on our radar, didn't it?
yeah, it works, sometimes. But we will not be repeating the phrase that they were chanting that day because that will definitely get us canceled. I mean, shit, they can't even say that on regular TV. Like the BBC won't even let them. Well, wait, they did, but I guess it was, oops, too late. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the dude from Disturbed, whatever his name is, boy, he was mad. He didn't like what he heard there. He's been kind of vocal over the last 19
This
months.
I did not know. That disturbed me to hear that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was chanting. It was an interesting thing. I thought I made some comments about it in the Discord, and I don't know how I feel about it genuinely, but I was giving my honest feeling about it at the time when I mentioned it in a chat the other day. I'm like, because I don't remember. Up till now, there's been a lot of dispute about rather peaceful sounding or just generic slogans, things like "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Simply people saying, "Hey, stop killing people in Gaza, stop murdering babies," and all of these things that people have been saying for the longest time since October 7th. I'm like, God, how many years into this now are we? Holy crap, this is getting insane.
Yeah.
Too long. So they're like,
2023. So we're approaching the 2-year mark.
we will be 2 years if this keeps going. I hope it doesn't keep going.
Me too.
At this rate, I don't know, man. Can someone please make an accusation about somebody somewhere so some world leader will step up and call a podcaster and put an end to this? I mean, that's all we need, right? These phrases, these slogans have been demonized, like the whole disinformation thing where they say like, oh, well, when you say this, here's what you really mean and how somebody might take it. They might take your words and think that that's a call to violence. And like none of the things people have been saying were violent until now. The phrase is literally is a violent one. Although metaphorically speaking, of course, I'm sure for the most part, but the phrase, unalived to the military forces that are part of one of the fighting factions. Y'all know what the chant is, right? I don't honestly don't want to get in trouble here. But the thing is, like, that's kind of weird. I've never seen them screaming death to anything before. I mean, it's going to be real easy for the detractors to say, well, you're calling for the death of somebody. No, we're not. Oh, wait, shit. Yeah, we are. How do you argue against that? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like it was injected on purpose to further demonize the cause. That's all my concern was about this, but I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. All right. Yep. That's definitely an angle that many people will be considering. Mystical Pharaoh, I know you got to get out of here. Do you have any saved rounds, final thoughts, anything else you want to throw in the boiler room before we let you go?
No, thanks, man. Happy 4th of July, everybody. And, I hope you enjoy time with your family. And thank you for having me. And I'll see you guys next week.
All right. It was great having you with us, Mystical Pharaoh. There he goes, punching out of the boiler room. Yeah, Ruckus, what else do we got? Anything else you want to throw out there tonight?
Who, me?
Yeah, you?
I don't pay attention to shit, bro.
Nah, we don't do that.
I
We
don't know,
don't do
man.
that
Like, I
at
mean,
all.
that was all the. I mean, I lightly mentioned it. We didn't talk about the Peter Thiel thing on last week
I
because that
think those
happened recently,
videos
right?
came out like right after we shut last week's show down.
I think I talked about it on Weaponized News,
You
of course.
did.
So shout out to Weaponized News. But I mean, that was quite interesting. I don't know if you have any of that video up or if you have that tabbed or if you have that handy. I don't, but I don't know if everybody got a chance to check that out. But it was an interview. It seemed like a pretty mainstream, straightforward like thing, and the reporter just kind of like was talking to him about this subject about how the views of the Antichrist and all of this technology and stuff, and he presented a well, don't you think that would mean that if the Antichrist were here, that he would be gung ho and fully supportive of this technology, the Palantir stuff, and the guy Peter Thiel caught on right away. He it was like almost like the guy was maybe not intentionally, but it was almost like a gotcha, like. He was basically accusing Peter Thiel of being the Antichrist, and Peter Thiel couldn't come up with a decent enough answer in my book as to how he's not. And it was just a very odd, creepy. That whole interview is creepy from what I've seen of it. I'm going to watch the entire thing, and I don't even remember the name of the show the guy was on. That's the one. Holy shit! You guys got to see this.
Yeah, this is definitely worth taking a look at. I've got 2 clips from this. Let's check this one first.
This is my very specific question for you, right? Is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, and technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly worrying about the Antichrist accidentally hastens his or her arrival?
There are all these different scenarios. I obviously don't think that that's what I'm doing.
I mean, to be clear, I don't think that's what you're doing either. I'm just interested in how you get to a world willing to submit to permanent authoritarian rule.
Well, but again, there are these different gradations of this we can describe, but is this so preposterous, what I've just told you, as a broad account of the stagnation that the entire world has submitted for 50 years to peace and safetyism? This is 1 Thessalonians 5:3. The slogan of the Antichrist is peace and safety, and we've submitted.
Yeah.
He's not wrong about that. That's interesting that he's able to quote the Bible like that. I know he's not a believer.
I noticed he kind of cherry-picked a section of it that goes in direct opposition to what the founding fathers of the United States said, too, about peace and safety versus liberty.
That's a good catch, my friend. Who said that? Was that one George Washington? Who was that?
I think it might have been Thomas Jefferson, but I'm not 100%.
There's that picture for Spore, by the way.
Have fun at work tomorrow, England.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think it was either Thomas Jefferson. It might have been Benjamin Franklin. They attribute these quotes to all of them, left and right. But we shouldn't be giving up our peace for security. I mean, our freedoms in exchange for peace and security. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Benjamin Franklin.
But yeah, I guess it's not that he's the Antichrist, but like him and or his ilk, the ones who are like all gung ho about this technology. So him and of course Karp and Musk and all the techno bros, the transhumanist guy that injects himself with the stuff and he wants going to live forever. Brian something. What's that guy's name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Shit.
I know you mean.
Fuck them all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like he's
they're
not.
nuts.
He has. There's no argumentation about whether or not what he's doing is anything but authoritarian. I like that about this clip here because the interviewer calls him out on it being like, how do you sell authoritarianism, is, to paraphrase what he said. And Peter Thiel is not interested in, then he just leapfrogs right over the constitutional aspect of that question and says, hey, it's been working out great so far. It's been going on all along, to paraphrase yet again. That's basically what I mean. Did I absorb that properly? Is that how you heard it too?
Yeah, and like Karp, when you see his reaction to people calling him out about the genocide and the use of his technology to kill people, they're all so nonchalant about it. I hate to use this word, but I mean, it seems like both Karp and Thiel literally worship this technology.
Yeah.
To them, it is the greatest fucking thing on the planet, and there's no convincing them otherwise. And they're 100% sold on it, gung ho, promoting it, cheerleading it, investing in it, all the things. And it's like it's crazy. And yeah, of course, I mean, a lot of antichrist, but in context of a one out of many different interpretations of one part of the Bible, and we know how dangerous that is in helping move forward agendas, i.e., with the Zionism. There's actually a very there's a bleed through here happening there. There's a crossover. They're very much related. A lot of these interpretations, as presented to most quote unquote Christians who just attend Sunday school or the Sunday worship thing to show off their fancy new duds and, hook up with the chick in the back room or whatever they do in church. I don't know. It's hardly worshiping God these days. That's for darn sure. Or learning anything about the Bible. But yeah, the same types of interpretations are very much linked to the propagation of the Zionist narrative. So some of these things that have been presented in the Bible as being taking place in the future sometime are actually things that have already happened in the distant past, but were in the future from the times of the writers who wrote them. So, good proof to the people who want to believe in the Bible. Hey, yes, these people prophesized XYZ was going to happen many years before it happened, and it did happen. And then a bunch of weird people said, oh, no, that didn't happen yet. That's going to happen later. And look, it's happening now. You should give me money and be scared, and so I can control you. Weird how that works.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it? The grift that keeps on giving. Yeah. Yeah, there's like a...
I do believe in antichrists, and these people are definitely antichrists, 100%.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. There's like a gleeful apotheosis that's happening when they talk. You know what I mean? They're just this, belittling the rest of humanity with, the hubris.
Yeah, if you don't get it, I don't have time to even be bothered with you. Seriously.
Right? Yeah. You're a bug. You're a virus. I am a god. Right? That seems to be sort of the vibe they give off. And it's funny that, we skewered Alex Karp last week for a majority of the show. And then as soon as the show ended, these clips started coming out. Here's another one. I'm not 100% sure it's not the same bit. So we'll have to just give it a shot and see, but I'm hoping it's a different segment.
This is my very specific question for you, right? Is that you're an investor in AI. You're deeply invested in Palantir, in military technology, in technologies of surveillance, in technologies of warfare, and so on, right? And it just seems to me that when you tell me a story about the Antichrist coming to power and using the fear of technological change to sort of impose order on the world, I feel like that Antichrist would maybe be using the tools that you were building, right? Like, wouldn't the Antichrist be like, great, we're not going to have any more technological progress, but I really like what Palantir has done so far, right?
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that a concern? Wouldn't that be the irony of history would be that the man publicly
All right, it's bleeding into what we already saw there, but yeah, worth checking out if you haven't seen it yet. But you get the gist if that's all you can stomach, like Ruckus and I.
Yeah, and the story that I guess Thiel was telling before the guy asked that question, because this is something Thiel and the other guy. I mean, so it's like it's all of these people. Sam Altman has been running around making the circuits, talking about warning people that AI is the Antichrist, it's the spirit of the devils, the demons, all this weird spiritual stuff coming from these very non-believing, non-spiritual people. But what he's talking about there about the people who want to put the fear of technological advancement into people in order to exert control. I'm like, okay, so that's Elon Musk. That's Sam Altman. It's the people who want you to be afraid that the AI is so powerful. It's thinking for itself. It's going to become artificial general intelligence. It's going to become artificial super intelligence. We got quantum computers coming. What's that going to mean? Like the computer, we need to hurry up and merge ourselves with the machine. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that with brain chip interfaces, right? Elon Musk, the Neuralink, and hey, just ask Michelle Obama. That's a product that's being sold to people, off of a fake and or created problem. The other thing that what's the other thing Sam Altman is heavily involved in? I'm sure he's involved in a brain chip interface, but I don't know that yet. But I bet that he is. But his big take is this digital currency thing, the orb. Remember so he's got his world coin. Well, that's an interesting name, right? One world currency. But that sounds familiar to a lot of weird. Wow, Spidey sense is tingling. Where'd that come from? But he's a big believer in universal basic income. And why do we need universal basic income? Well, that's going to solve the problem of all losing your jobs. Why did we lose our jobs? Well, AI and robotics took over my job. Well, where did all these AI and robots come from? Oh, Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel. And I think I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's all a giant scam, folks, to sell you on a product. It's the exact same shit that they did to us during 2020. They had everybody with their heads up their asses behind 6 feet of plexiglass and 20 face masks, scared of a fake invisible enemy. And they rushed blindly into a technocratically led product that was sold to them and made somebody a killing. It was warp speeded through a very special thing from the government called Operation Warp Speed. And now that Trump, who was president when all that took place, is now in power to get ready for the next impending problem or pandemic or whatever it is, fill in the blank. It's Project Stargate, and we need to invest a shit ton of billions of dollars into warp speeding the AI, which is just going to hasten, speed up replacing jobs. And now you're on universal basic income. But now, all this AI is going to take over the world. So you got to get your brain chip. And now it's like full top-down technocratic grid, UBI, mark of the beast, everybody. There you have it. And we're all doing it to ourselves, unfortunately.
500 billion. You don't want the 500 billion injected into your economy, Ruckus? That's 500
I don't want the $500 billion injected into my brain.
You don't want the 500 billion? Okay, all right. Yes, the trajectory. All right, I got a couple for you here, Ruckus, and then we'll bounce out. This one, Shredder, thanks for this one. NVIDIA and Foxconn plan humanoid robot factory in Texas. All right, Elysium. How many times have I mentioned the movie Elysium on this program? I don't know, but yeah, maybe you can go work in the humanoid AI robot factory in Texas. Wonder where they will be deployed to. So, NVIDIA and Foxconn Technology are reportedly considering the use of humanoid robots at a soon-to-launch AI server production plant in Houston. According to a Reuters report, the Houston site is expected to begin assembling NVIDIA's GB300 AI servers early next year. If confirmed, it would mark the first time NVIDIA's products are made using humanoid robots and the first Foxconn-run AI server plant to integrate them on the production line. So, no regulation on AI whatsoever. One of the biggest companies in AI. There's no AI basically, at least not for the plebs, without NVIDIA, and they're going to set up basically a sort of a little like like a little just AI plant with robots and AI running the whole thing. So what could go wrong? I don't know. Maybe this is great. Maybe this is wonderful. We should invest. But much to be learned there and uncovered. What do you think, Ruckus?
NVIDIA. Oh man, I remember when they came onto the scene many, many moons ago with a dream of becoming the world's largest AI chip provider. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
How did these guys get their start? Where are they from, Hesher? You want to remind
gaming.
anybody? Oh,
Gaming.
video games. Oh, shit. That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
isn't that weird? Very strange.
I remember
What
playing Unreal Tournament on the Unreal Engine using NVIDIA
I
chips back in the
I
day.
remember 5 years ago, one of the first okay, sorry, other than toilet paper, the first item to be in high demand and literally next to impossible to get your hands on were GPUs.
Yep. I waited 6
Weird.
months for mine. I built a PC in 2020 or 2021.
How much of the world was hanging out and talking about and using AI back then? Is that what the GPU? No. No. Well, why was there wait a minute. It's almost like they were getting ready even back then, huh?
Yeah, they had a steady flow of them going to people like the people we're talking about tonight. They've had a steady flow of them going for years, and they have been the ones driving the upgrades in the chips. And the new series of these chips are coming out, and they are crazy powerful and even crazier expensive. Like you're getting as a PC consumer, parts consumer, you're getting priced out basically. You're getting left 3 or 4 generations behind in what's on the market. Never mind the 6 to 10 generations that these technocrats have been using for the last 20 years.
It's pretty wild, man.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Makes you wonder if you could build a time machine and go back in time, would you go back and kill Hitler? Would you stop Trump from being elected? Would you invest in NVIDIA when they got started?
Oh, there's no single point of failure with which to create a successful State of the Union in this year. So yeah, I'd probably have to go with personal enrichment. So I could have bunkered up back in the 90s.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude, totally. All right, one more.
But then we would have been able to buy enough Trump coin to have dinner with the president, and then we would be able to stop the war in Ukraine and Gaza. See?
Oh, the power. The power. Oh my God. I feel like Skeletor just thinking about it. All right. Google DeepMind introduces AI model that runs locally on robots. Yet another thing. Thanks again, Shredder, for this one as well. Yet another thing we keep wargaming about. Why at this point in the game has AI and robotics been basically two separate lanes? Because we can see what's happening in Gaza. We can see that it's all integrated when it comes to military power. So, and only now are we starting to see articles like this and the one before it that are being honest about the corporate and the high top tier corporate end is working with this. But Google DeepMind introduced a vision language action, a VLA model that runs locally on robotic devices without accessing a data network. The new Gemini Robots on-device robotics foundation model features general purpose dexterity, fast task adaptation, the company said in a blog post last month. So this model operates independent of a data network. So that's pretty interesting, man. So you can have basically robots that are not even networked running on AI. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
This is getting crazy.
Yeah.
And Google, so Google's AI is Gemini. They forced me to get it on my phone, just like they forced all the Microsoft Windows computers to have Copilot. Copilot's a weird name. It's like Copilot. Anyways, but Gemini, I've been experimenting a little bit with Gemini. That's an interesting name. What does Gemini mean? Isn't that the twins from the zodiac symbol?
The twins, yep.
And hasn't there been some discussion? It's kind of dropped off the face of the planet for the most part, but this whole concept of the digital twinning, where like they're going to be able to create a digital version of you. So that's probably the next biggest selling point, to just sell your soul, as it were, metaphorically speaking. Okay, Peter Thiel, calm down, to the technology, I mean, maybe it's literal. I mean, geez, I don't know. I mean, depends on how you want to look at this stuff. But like to allow, because of the AI assistant. So now your AI assistant is going to assist you, but it's going to assist you better if it's literally just a digital copy of you. So it's really you. So it's like it's you answering your Gmail, right? But it's not. It's the Gemini you. It's your twin. So I'm guessing that's probably why they named that one Gemini. Just the theory I have about all that. But yeah, no, this whole AI agent stuff is getting okay. So we had to do the AI first, which isn't really AI. The AI that we're talking about, the LLM. That's when people hear AI, that's what they're thinking of. It's the Chat GPT. It's the talking to the Gemini. It's talking to the Copilot, which is really just an advanced, souped up search engine. Okay, it's really all it is. It's just able to interact with you and vice versa in a different manner and at a much faster speed. It's really not that impressive when you look at what's going on behind the scenes there. I mean, it is impressive, but it's not intelligence. It's not thinking for itself. The next phase that we moved up to with the agentic AI is far more frightening in a way. Still not what I would call intelligence, but it can do the things that machines like your toaster can't do these things. But now, if you had an agentic toaster, it could. The agentic toaster could make toast for itself, based on like its whatever. I mean, the AI is going to be doing things without you having to tell it. Like it'll understand enough about you and what's going on with it's contextual now. It's not based on. It's going out into the internet and looking for the answer to the question you just asked it. It's problem solving and then acting. And then but that's within a digital realm. The robots now extend that out into the physical world. So now basically this is it. This is rest in peace. Your jobs are done for, everybody. They don't need us anymore. This is working like a well-oiled machine. I hate to use that expression. Why do they even need us? They have the robots making the new chips in the factory, so they don't even need the humans to make the new parts for the machines. How long before the robots are repairing each other? Have you seen that? I mean, the robot arm is going to do surgery and insert the brain chip in your head. You're telling me it can't fix another robot? Of course it can. So, what's the end game here? Are they just going to click a button and be done with us? Are they going to Thanos us out of existence, Escher?
Control Alt Delete, buddy. Select A. Control.
Go back to the whole they would never because they were the golden goose. No, we're nothing now. We got shit. Sorry.
we're running out of gold real quick. The gold's been lapped up since 2020. Even further back. Yeah, no, it's crazy, dude. Here's another thing. I watched the other day. They always like to do this to me early in the morning. When I first allow myself to look at the doom scroll, one of the first things I see is a bad accident or violence of some sort. And the other day it was a guy that was repairing a stoplight in an intersection, right? So there's a utility truck and it's got the arm and the bucket, and the dude's in the bucket, and the bucket's hanging down just slightly below the stoplight, right? And he's back there putting a new bulb in or fixing the wiring or whatever. And this semi truck comes and takes a left turn through the intersection. And it's one of those semis that's got about 6 to 8 inches between the top of it and a stoplight. And this dude's bucket was hanging a couple feet below the stoplight. And it just smashed into it so violently. And the bucket flipped upside down. And the dude is in a safety harness, luckily, but he's hanging upside down, and it's looking like he's probably injured. And I just thought to myself, wow, that's a manly job right there. That's a risky job. That guy probably has a great health insurance plan. I hope he's okay. But this is the kind of incident and footage that leads to a company going, you know what? Our health insurance plans cost us this many billions of dollars a year for, our company. And these new Atlas robots, they can go out on top of a stoplight and change the bulb, and we don't have to have an insurance program on them. Or if we do, it's not a life liability thing. It's a parts liability thing. You know what I mean? Every dangerous industry could make an argument for this. And I'm pretty sure we're not far off, if not already to the point where they can print houses with 3D printers. They can use Atlas robots as construction robots, and a lot of dangerous jobs will probably be some of the first ones to go away.
Well, of course. I mean, this is all for the greater good, Hesher, until like, well, now we're doing it just because we can.
Yeah, now you make this much money a month, bitch.
I saw that video too. That's so funny. That was actually one of the first things I saw the other day. That's
What are they doing
interesting.
to us, man?
I know. We always get the same
Set the tone of your
feeds.
day, you know? That's why you can't look at the doom scroll right when you get out of bed. You can't have that.
But I mean, I think that's to your point. It's like they want everybody to see that kind of stuff because that is a slow drip narrative that has been. Because I mean, like, because I mean, this is one of those like. Remember when I did my Robo Jerks series on early
Yeah.
episodes of the Daily Ruckus? Like,
Yep.
people used to be concerned, worried, and angry about the thought of just a single, like, oh no, you can't have a robot arms in my factory building my cars. That's anti-American and jobs and yeah. No. But no, now they're replacing everybody and everything. I was trying to warn a friend of mine whose dad is a truck driver years ago about how they're gonna, hey, you know, your dad's gonna be out of a job here in a few years once they learn how to self-drive these trucks. No, yeah, dude. Hello, we are there. One of the leading forces of that, by the way, is NVIDIA.
Yep.
Go figure.
And Tesla just had the first automated delivery. Like a car drove off of the assembly line and drove to the client's house. He bought a car online. They made it on the assembly line and they programmed his address in his home. And as soon as it came off the assembly line, it just drove to his house and parked.
And it's all the cool fact. Did you see there was a recent interview with Elon Musk where he was bragging about how many, I forget how many, he said there were going to be an ungodly number of his Atlas robots available out in the world by the year, his words, 2030, which I found. I'm like, why they always pick 2030? So that's 5 years from now. And I forget the exact number, but he's going off on his little, you know, autistic spaz, like whatever, how you can't hardly understand what he's saying, right? And the only reason he provides for why he's doing is like, because think about it, because who wouldn't want a robot, right? Who wouldn't want their own Star Wars C-3PO? That's the only reason he gives for why, like, oh, okay, so you're going through all this trouble to build all these robots and sell them to the public because who wouldn't want a cool robot?
Because Star Wars.
Makes perfect sense to me, dude. Why the hell? I mean, what do I know? I'm not the world's richest person, so who knows?
What about because subservience? What about because Elysium? What about because AI, the movie? What, you know what I mean? There's so many more movies. What about Battlestar Galactica? I could do this game all fucking night, of like the humanity basically ending or turning into something dystopic when the singularity hits, and that's what we're talking about. And if anyone hasn't seen the movie Subservience yet from last year, it's not a fantastic movie by any means, but there's a subplot going in it, and it's to do with AI powered robotics and a construction site. And they have these robots that come in and basically push out the human contractors to the point where it just all becomes automated. And of course, shit hits the fan, everything goes bad. Because that's what happens in most of these plots, you know. So to say, oh, because Luke Skywalker had C-3PO to hang out with, it's like, who is your audience? Are you talking to adults? Oh yeah, unfortunately, yes. Many adults are swayed by that sort of argumentation, but yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it would have worked on me if he said, because who wouldn't want their own Cherry 2000? Never mind.
Who wouldn't want their own Lucy?
They're getting all the Lucy butt. Yeah, that's all coming too. Yeah, it's all rough stuff, man. But all the science fiction writers, they all tried to warn us, but we didn't listen, Hesher. We didn't listen. So that's why we have to change our game plan and be like, America.
Right? Trust the plan. There's a reason why in the big beautiful bill they're not going to allow for a decade any regulation on artificial intelligence. It's for your own good.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't believe it.
For your own good.
Well, I think I'm spent.
Yeah, with that, let's shut it down. We just crossed the 2-hour mark here. Thanks, Ruckus, for hanging out with me tonight. I think we've ground through the coffee of the doom scroll pretty well here.
Yeah. So thanks for having me. Don't forget to check out. I promise. I know I've said this many times, but I legitimately have brand new episodes of Daily Ruckus coming ASAP. Hopefully next week. Otherwise, you can always catch me on Weaponized News. I'm usually on there co-hosting with Sam Chaney. That's this program. You'll find him on Rumble, YouTube, Odyssey, Facebook, Twitch, everywhere. All the time, every night, Monday through Friday. I think that show is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. But I'm on Mondays, okay? It's always a good time there. Me and Sam have a good time. So there's that. And I did do a show recently with Jamie Hanshaw that's available on her YouTube channel. But if you're having trouble finding that, just go to alternatecurrentradio.com. I have a post up, Roundabout Ruckus. It's bright and pink. You can't miss it. It's a cute graphic on that one. I had fun. So I have a new Roundabout Ruckus there. You also found the Roundabout Ruckus for my Weaponized News up there, all at alternatecurrentradio.com, which is getting a facelift over the weekend. I didn't want to give away the secret, but there's going to be some changes at the website too. So lots of exciting, fun things. It's going to be a great month. Go America. May God bless each and every one of you. Please, everybody, be safe. Keep your fingers, and God save this republic. Ruckus out.
All right. Thanks, Ruckus. There he goes. I hope you have a wonderful Independence Day, 4th of July holiday. And for our friends not in the United States, well, hope you have a great day at work and then a great weekend. We're out of here. We'll see you next time for another live stream by the Social Rejects Club right here in the Boiler Room. Check us out, alternatecurrentradio.com. We'll see you next week.
That's it. Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.